Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Adrian, and today we're going to hike a section of Coyote Gulch. We're going to go see the Jacob Hamblin Arch and then go south a little bit and see some more of it, and then hike back out. So we're going in through the sneaker route, which is the place where you need to rappel down, or at least you probably should rappel down. And so I'll be showing that later in the video, but we've got about 40 miles down this road, which is Hole in the Rock Road, and it can be pretty washboarded sometimes. So we're gonna air down the tires. We run at 35, we're gonna go down to about 18, and that'll make the drive a lot smoother and a lot faster because we've got a ways to go down this road. I'm not sure if you can hear that in the video, but you can hear there's a lot of vibration. Maybe you can hear there's a lot of vibration. And the road's pretty rough right here, but we've got the tires there down to 18, and we're cruising at 42 miles an hour over this, so pretty good speed on this road for its condition. All right, we just turned off of Hole in the Rock Road, and it's not bad. If there's any really bad sections of this, I'll record them and show you how they look. Otherwise, the rest will just look like this. Okay, we made it. We're at the trailhead now, headed down to Coyote Gulch. It is windy out here, super windy. And we are about to have a good time on the hike. So here we go. So far so good. We're about 15 or 20 minutes in, and it is really windy out here. It's kicking up a lot of sand, but it's a good time. Beautiful terrain. This place is really pretty. Even the hike in is gorgeous. So I am so stoked to see what lies ahead. One thing I'm noticing about this trail is the trail itself is not very well defined. There kind of isn't one, at least not that I've seen. I've been checking my Gaia GPS app, so I know we're heading in the right direction. But because of the wind and because of the sand, it just is sort of blown over everything. So there's not really any well-defined trail out here to follow through most sections of the flat part in the beginning. The wind is real out here today. It is super windy. And when you're going through the desert and there's dust and dirt, you want to have goggles with you and something to wrap your face and head so you can keep the sand out of your ears and out of your eyes, out of your mouth and nose. I can pull this up if I need to, like this, cover my face. It's really nice. I got this balaclava off of Amazon. I think I got a 3-pack for like $20 or something. It was pretty cheap. And they've been good and reliable, good material. I'm really happy with them.
They're SPF too.
Oh yeah, and they're sun protective, so that's nice. But anytime you're in the desert, bring some goggles with you because the sand can be brutal out here with the wind. Well, here it is. There's Jacob Hamblin right there. Jacob Hamblin Arch, and now we're gonna go find the point to rappel. I think it's up here. This is pretty cool. We haven't gotten to the descent yet. We're close to it, but here's another view of Jacob Hamblin Arch. You can see right there where the arch starts. It goes through this right here. Okay, here it is. Here's the first descent to the rappel point right here. Well, I found the little arch section where you tie in, and it is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. So there is one bolt here. Good spot. So there's a bolt right here. Let me show you this. So here's one bolt. So you could bring your own hardware and connect into this, which had I known this was here, I would have done that. So I definitely recommend it. But we've got this, and I got a rangefinder and I brought it with me so I could measure the distance from this point down to the bottom and see how far that is. So that's what I'm going to do now. It's not reading. I think it just loses the laser. It's too bright. Yeah, it's losing the laser. It's saying 3 and 29/30 seconds. Okay, so my rangefinder, I guess the laser's not bright enough for it to hit all the way down there. It can go 400 feet, it says, but maybe those are in perfect ideal conditions because it could not read it. So we've got a 210-foot rope, 64 meter Imlay, the Canyon Fire. It's an 8.3 millimeter rope, and that's what we're gonna rappel down on. I'm gonna set some webbing up on this arch. All right, I'm about to start. I would not recommend doing this without gear, without a rope and a harness and being tied in. I've seen a lot of people do it online, and I guess they're okay at the risk, but I'm not. All it would take is one slip, and you would not be stopping until you hit the bottom of this. If you slip on this, it's over. It's game over. So safety first. Might not look like it on camera, but it is pretty steep. If you have the right skill, you could do this without a rope, but that would be pretty dangerous in my opinion. Any rock climber watching this would probably just laugh, but I'm not a rock climber, and I'm all about safety. So descending this with rope and gear wasn't bad at all. I mean, it was super easy, but without gear, it would have been sketchy. I wouldn't have felt comfortable doing it. It was basically just walking down backwards with the rope. I used the rope to assist quite a bit, so a rope is definitely helpful. I would highly recommend bringing a rope. Again, I have a 64 meter, that's 210 feet. It's the Imlay Canyon Fire, 8.3 millimeter. Awesome rope, really happy with it. So now we're gonna head down to this lower section and see what it looks like. Okay, so here's that lower section. I was just standing right up there, about there somewhere. And our rope is getting all the way down to about here. And this is the final descent, which you don't need rope for this. That's like a staircase. Really the easiest way to get down sandstone is by going backwards. All right, so there it is. Not sure if you can see this, but that is the whole climb. Not too bad. Bring a rope and harness. I didn't think it would be as windy down here, but it's pretty windy. It's not as windy as it was up on the very top when we were hiking in, but it's still pretty windy down here. This place is beautiful, and the pictures you see where everything looks curved, it's actually like that. I'm using a wide angle on my GoPro, it's the Hero 9 Black, so that adds a little tiny bit of curvature to it, but not a whole lot. It really does curve around down here. So I'm standing underneath this. This is straight up. So this is coming out and over, and then it wraps this way. It's really beautiful. Please don't do this kind of shit to nature. Well, there's no more keeping the feet dry, so I'm just gonna have to embrace the water. The good thing about embracing the water is once your feet are wet, you just don't have to think about it anymore. You just walk straight and go right through it. And that's pretty great. Just like that. Okay, here's the other side of the arch. And this is where we came from, down here. This just curves around. I would do some slower panning shots, but the GoPro doesn't like those with its image stabilization. Epic is the only way to describe this place. It really is epic. And we've done a lot of hikes, a lot of slot canyons. If you've watched my channel, you'll see those videos. And wow, this one is just, everything is massive everywhere, and you're right up on the canyon walls. The way the sun's hitting everything is beautiful. It is really windy down here though. I'm surprised how windy it is. But beautiful place. Really is totally worth seeing. I'm not sure if this is going to read on camera, but right up there there's a bunch of dust blowing off, a bunch of sand blowing over. The wind, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, it is windy down here. Of course, obviously it's not going to be windy down here every day. I'm sure there's plenty of calm days down here. For some reason today it's super windy. Look at that. It's going crazy. Nice and windy. It's cool though, it helps keep it cool, which is nice. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna have Amanda film me going and standing close to this canyon wall because it's so huge, and then I'll have her kind of pan up. You have to tilt up kind of quickly because the GoPro's image stabilization jumps around, but here we go. I'm gonna go stand next to it. Huge. And I'm 6'1" and 210 pounds. So it gives you an idea of my frame. Massive walls. These are definitely the biggest we've seen. These are absolutely huge. This is too good to pass up. I just went up to my knee in a pothole here. So we just came down this little section because we've got to hike the river around. And this, I just stepped in it because with my goggles on, it didn't look deep. It just looked like kind of a mossy section. Look how far down this goes. Look at that. All the way up to my knee. That was great. Now my leg is cold because it's windy and this water's freezing. That was fun. I guess that's a lesson learned. I learn a lesson on every hike. Normally a few lessons. I've learned a few on this one about my drone. I've never seen water pass under an arch before. So this is really pretty. I'm glad we hiked out here and saw this. The hike really wasn't too bad. It's very cruisy terrain. You have to hike through water here and there, but it's not bad. And it went by fast. The hike was a quick hike. I thought it was going to take quite a bit longer than this, but really didn't seem too bad. I guess it's when everything is so epic around you, hiking goes faster than normal. If it's just boring terrain and drudgery, then it takes forever. But when you're hiking and stuff like this, it is amazing. And the hike goes by quickly. So there it is. Coyote Natural Bridge. All right, it's time to head back. We have been hiking and resting like this whole trip so far, from the trailhead to where we are now. 3 hours, 29 minutes, and 37 seconds. Total distance is 6.3 miles. Listen to that wind. Jesus. It is coming through down here. Woo! Oh yeah. All right, so here's the lower part of the ascent. I'm gonna have Amanda film me going up so you can see what that looks like. It's pretty steep. It's a pretty steep angle. It's about like this, but a lot of good placements and a lot of good footholds. So now we're gonna go up and tackle that and see how that goes. Should be pretty simple with the rope. You really can't see in this video how steep it is. And it's not terrible, but it's definitely not something I feel comfortable doing without a rope. Again, because one slip and it's over. You will just fall down this entire thing if you slip at all on it. So it's a pretty high risk, high consequence of failure. It is pretty steep. You can see right over there, that's about the angle of all this right there. So it is pretty vertical. Depending on your level of skill, you could easily find a way, but again, it's a high risk, high consequence if you fall here. All right, well, there was the climb up. That was pretty fast with the right gear. Here's the second little climb out. Pretty straightforward. You'll just walk up this like this. This one is not too bad. I mean, it still could be very dangerous if you slip, but not dangerous like the other one, where if you slip, you are for sure going down the rest of this canyon. This one is not quite that bad. And then before you know it, you're up and out. So, good times. It was a fun little hike. Beautiful place. Definitely bring a rope and a harness so you can rappel down that and be safe. Make sure you can auto arrest the fall. So tie a Prusik or a climb heist on there, or use a device that will auto arrest you if you do slip, because that fall would leave you in bad shape. This is kind of cool. Before we completely get out of here, on the canyon wall over there, you can see right there, it looks like an eagle going in for a kill, or like the head of a bull or something. Well, with the wind came a little bit of rain. Not much, just a trickle. That's not even why I'm wearing my rain gear right now. I'm wearing it because the wind was so strong. We've never been in winds this strong. I don't know what the speeds are, but it feels like, I don't know, about 40, maybe a little stronger. I have no idea. I really don't have a reference point except for just driving in a car and putting my hand out the window. Is brutal, and now it's kicking up a lot of dirt, a lot of sand coming up now, but we're about half a mile out from the car, so almost there. All right, well, we made it back to the car, and it was really, really breezy there at the end. And the sand, oh my God, the fucking sand was relentless. So it was a fun hike. It was beautiful, absolutely worth doing. It's not gonna be this windy most of the time. We just got caught with the wind. I'm sure it's just perfect most of the time, but the wind was out there today. So that was fun. And that's it for this one. See you in the next one.